shows you the business case, because what I have discovered is that when you make the business case for green, it's hard for anyone to say no. But you need to come armed with facts and figures and information about how it looks from different perspectives.
That was Island Press author Jerry Yudelson, and this is Jennifer Pullinger. Welcome back to Island Press Podcasts. You can hear more from our authors by going to our website at www.islandpress.org. 2 years later, the scars from Hurricane Katrina are still alarmingly visible in New Orleans. Take the 9th Ward, located next door to a major levee breach that allowed water to engulf the city. Now the lower 9th Ward is getting a high-profile rehabilitation from the likes of actor Brad Pitt and his Make It Right campaign. The team is promising to rebuild 150 homes there using affordable, eco-friendly design and construction, so displaced residents can finally return home to a healthy place to live. This isn't the latest celebrity fad, though. Companies, schools, hospitals, public buildings, and neighborhood designers today are increasingly implementing green roofs, high-performance materials, and energy-efficient products into their buildings. Jerry Yudelson knows exactly what sustainable design and construction can do to transform our world. An expert on green building practices and former member of the U.S. Green Building Council National Board, he is the author of The Green Building Revolution from Island Press. He joins us by phone from Tucson, Arizona. What makes a building green?
What makes a building green, very simply, is if it's certified green by the U.S. Green Building Council's LEED program, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, period. There's lots of people that claim green buildings, but they don't have any backup proof. LEED gives you the proof. Beyond that, it's buildings that are sensitive to their sites, save water and energy, use materials that have a lower environmental impact, and provide superior indoor environmental quality.
Is there anything else beyond that people in general should know about green design that offers benefits to them?
Well, the big benefit of green design is multiple depending on who you are. If you're a company building a green building for your own business, you get the benefits of increased productivity, energy savings, reduced health claims, better public relations and marketing posture, and a number of risk management benefits. So the benefits of green design vary dramatically, at least for the building owner or developer, depending on their situation.
We're hearing a lot about green design in the news today. Like, you always hear about companies having green roofs. But what do you attribute the rise in demand for green design and green building?
I have a couple words. One is Al Gore, the growing awareness of the problems of global warming caused by energy production and use with the resultant carbon dioxide emissions. I use the word Katrina, which illustrated the vulnerability of a major American city to natural forces. And I think it's a dramatic change in the average mindset in the United States, Canada, and other countries, where people are really pushing environmental agendas forward for themselves and expect to see it in buildings.
And I'm glad you brought up Katrina. I was wondering what you thought of what's happening in New Orleans now with all the attention on rebuilding the city in an environmentally sound way.
Well, you're still going to rebuild the city in an environmentally sound way that's below sea level. So I wonder about the long-term sanity of doing that. You're just building another Venice. And Venice is a very nice city, but it'll be below the waves in another 100 or 200 years, as will New Orleans in all likelihood.
If they were being, I guess, a little more smart about where they were actually building the green buildings that they are doing, I'm sure you would see that as a model for other American cities.
Actually, in my view, a much better model is Greenburg, Kansas, which was totally destroyed by a tornado this year, and which has actively engaged planners to redesign the city as a completely sustainable town. And I actually think over the long haul that will be a better model than New Orleans, which is a good thing to do for the people who live there, but does not have, I don't think, a long-term survivability benefit.
And are there any other details about the city in Wisconsin that you mentioned that makes it such a good model?
Well, first of all, it's smaller, so that you can actually go in and redesign a town. Obviously, with New Orleans, we're stuck with the historical layout of streets and neighborhoods and so forth. And many of them are simply below sea level. And so I'm glad that people are in there helping out the residents and so forth. But if you also know New Orleans, you see a dysfunctional political system at all levels, local, state, and federal, that isn't going to make things much better in any short period of time.
Some people have a misconception that green building is costly. Why do people think it's so expensive?
Well, certainly if you add things like green roofs or photovoltaics, solar electrics, you're adding cost, and it then depends on why are you doing that. If you look at a standard green building without those measures, and one that's designed by people who know what they're doing, you're seeing costs of 2% or less, and that is well within the noise level for most building projects.
And where will the biggest growth in green building happen in the next decade? Is there a particular industry or a particular part of the country that the growth is really going to take place in?
Well, I think we should look at the next half decade. I believe that the next major sector that will turn green in a huge way is that new residential sector, new housing, because it basically has so much potential, and because the consumer can make a direct purchase decision. You as a consumer can't really buy a green building by Citibank or Bank of America, but you certainly can buy a green home.
And how can we keep the green building revolution moving forward? Any factors that could stop its growth?
I think it's almost a given now that within 5 years that the current LEED system will be, in essence, the building code for all large commercial buildings in almost all cities, large cities of the country, and many medium and small-sized cities. So I think for individuals, the thing to do is to make sure that your local city council or county commission or county board of supervisors takes advantage of the opportunity created by the concern over global warming to rewrite the building code so that we actually will be building zero net energy buildings in all of our cities within 5 years.
Jerry Yudelson's book is called The Green Building Revolution. You can find out more about this book and others on green design by visiting us at www.islandpress.org.